closer to you guys. Thumbnail. That's what filming the thumbnail looks like. What's up guys, my name is Stephanie, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, I make videos on lifestyle, travel, fashion, I upload my own songs, I do covers, vlogging, all that kind of fun stuff. So if you like this video, be sure to hit the like button and to hit the subscribe button. And today I'm going to be telling you about 8 things that I wish I knew and 8 things that you should know before going to Japan. So if you haven't already seen my Japan vlogs, they will be linked up here, I believe. It's on the right side of the YouTube screen, so it's on my left side. They will be linked right here if you haven't watched them already. A lot of you are new from watching those Japan vlogs, so welcome to the channel. And to just tie up this whole little Japan thing, I really wanted to make a video and a blog post, which will be linked down below, about the things I'm about to talk about this video a little bit more in depth, of things that I wish I knew that I wasn't expecting, about things that I wish I knew before I went to Japan, because Japan was one of the few places that I've been that it was not exactly what I expected it to be. So I've got my laptop in front of me and let's get started. 1, it's that English is surprisingly very sparse there. You expect kind of, especially with the traveling that I've done all over Europe, Israel, Australia, New Zealand, these are all places that really learn English, and the people who live there speak English at a pretty darn fluent level. And in Japan, it's just not that way. In metros, I was playing charades with people. In restaurants, people had to have Google Translators apps. I actually had a friend on my tour who actually had a pocket translator, and it was the one place that I think I've been where it would have actually come in handy to make a purchase like that. But yeah, just be prepared to have translator apps to learn some basic things like konnichiwa is hi, arigato is thank you, just look up some konbawa is good evening, just a greeting, so then you can at least greet them in their language. I've learned this from traveling, that if you greet someone in their language and then continue with the rest of your question in English, as long as you preface it trying to communicate with them in their mother tongue, they're going to be more likely to want to give you the advice and make the attempt to speak to you in a language that is not their mother tongue, in this case English. So just beware of that when you go. Number 2, there is 7-Eleven everywhere in Japan. Like, it was the first thing when I was in Tokyo. I was like, why is there 7-Eleven everywhere? Like, am I mistaken? Isn't this an American thing? But it's kind of like their easy stop and shop convenience store. It's kind of like, not exactly like a CVS or Walgreens in the States, but there's some English food, like food with English captions on it, so you know exactly what you're gonna eat. For instance, I'm vegetarian, vegan, plant-based, all that kind of fun stuff. So it was a place for me to go get tofu, vegetables, salted rice balls for like 100 yen, which is about a US dollar. So they're really good places for convenient snacks if you're out and about. This, 7-Eleven, and then Family Mart. These little convenient stores, they're actually pretty darn good, and they'll be really useful resources for you as an American. So yeah, it's something I wish that not that I wish I would have known, but it would have been nice to know, like, oh, if I'm totally, screwed right now for food or something, there's a 7-Eleven and it's probably going to save me. 3, this is something, it's like a stereotype, and I didn't think it'd be true, but it really was, and it's that everywhere you go in Japan, it kind of smells like fish. Even when we were walking, I'll link the vlog right here that I'm talking about, we were walking through this bakery aisle, like, with the red bean paste dough ball things, the buns, and all their strawberry stuff, these grape things, like all these really sweet, tasty desserts. It still somehow smelled like fish. I don't know how, I don't know why. They eat a lot of fish. It's a very true stereotype. So if you like fish, you're gonna have an abundant amount of fish to be able to try on your trip to Japan. Number 4, this is one that I heard on other YouTube videos and I had read online, and it was true. And I had friends on my trip that didn't prepare for this. So I'm going to tell you, Japan is a cash-oriented society. Meaning, do not expect to bring your credit cards and have places all over the sun take them. Now, really like big chain things, like I'm sure the Pokemon store that I went to in Kyoto would have taken an American credit card, whatever. But places like local cafes, restaurants, even in Tokyo, even in a big city, they expect cash. So before your trip, make sure you bring enough cash with you, and if you don't think you're gonna have enough cash with you, or you think you might want to take more cash out, bring an ATM card with you. Your ATM card will probably work. Just notify your bank that you're about to travel and you should be good to go. Number 5. This is a weird one considering how ironic it is that Japan is relatively clean. The cleanest place I think I've ever seen in all of my travels is Perth in Western Australia. Japan is pretty darn clean, pretty close to that. Not as clean as that actually, which we'll get into a little bit later. But all over Japan, you don't have public trash cans. So you'll be walking in Tokyo, you'll have something to throw out, like, I don't know, a Starbucks, not Starbucks, because you shouldn't really be drinking Starbucks if you're in Japan. You should try their green tea, their matcha stuff while you're there, you know? But if you have, you know, a salted rice ball package to throw out, you're gonna have to carry the trash with you. It's kind of a cultural custom to keep your trash, take it home with you, and dispose of it in your own home. So just beware of that. Don't try, you know, if you're prepared to bring snacks with you or water bottles, whatever, maybe bring a little bag to carry all of your trash, then your trash isn't mingled with the rest of the stuff in your day pack. And number 6, this was one that I would have never figured out unless someone in the places stopped me, but the subway and the metro in Tokyo are 2 different railway systems. But it's really irritating because you can get on the metro for one thing, and then you exit through the subway, but then you can't get back in because you have a metro ticket and not a subway ticket, but it lets you out of the subway station with a metro ticket. It's very confusing. But just so you know, sometimes your phone will give you directions, you know, to take the public transportation system, and you won't have tickets for both of the things. And I don't think that you can buy an all-around ticket unless I was horribly mistaken when I was with my friends. It appeared that you could only buy the 24-hour, 48-hour, whatever amount of hour passes for the place that you were in. Meaning, if you were in a metro station, you could buy the 48-hour pass for the metro station, and if you were in a subway station, you could buy it for the subway station. But I don't think there's a combined ticket for both. You have to buy both of them or attempt to just take one or the other. Really confusing, but it's something that I wish I would have known before going. Number 7, I mentioned this before, but if you are vegan or vegetarian, it is gonna be a little bit difficult for you. Now, yes, they have rice, tofu, like I said, at 7-Eleven, you can get all the veggies. There was one time in Tokyo, where was it? I was coming from Menju Shrine or Jiagoyaka, like Tokyo's Little Europe, and I found it was on the way to Tokyo's Little Europe from Menji Shrine in Yoyogi Park, where I came across a Biosibon, which is a shop that's all over Europe. It's not in the States, but it's got like the health food and all that kind of stuff. I was like, yes, I hit the jackpot, and I bought some vegan pudding, some vegan cookies, you know, stuff to satisfy my sweet tooth because I wasn't really being satisfied in Japan with all the rice and kelp and soy sauce that I was pretty much eating for the week. Yeah, it's not impossible though. People be like, it's gonna be really hard. Won't be impossible, but when I travel, I always bring granola bars, you know, already packaged, so they're totally fine going through customs. Packaged oatmeal, I brought little packs of oatmeal, was totally fine going through customs when I entered Japan. I would just come prepared because if you don't, count on eating white rice the entire time, which I ate a lot of white rice. And I wasn't totally sick of it, but I was very happy that I brought other things with me as well to give myself a variety in my diet while I was in Japan. And the last one is, Japan isn't nearly as futuristic as I expected it to be. Like, everyone's talking about how, like, I met this girl in Ireland, and she had been to Japan 5 times, and she told me when she was sitting on the hostel bed, she goes, oh, they live in the year 2030 over there. But I have to say that I don't think that I agree with that. Just going through the airport security in places like Israel, Australia, New Zealand, they let you go through with a whole bottle of water, like the one that I have back there, and they don't stop you. They don't do the TSA water liquid limits like they do here in the States. And in Tokyo, it was in Osaka going back to Tokyo, I had an empty water bottle. Empty, because trick. If you're in the States and you want to have a water bottle after security, but you want to pay for a $5 water bottle, take an empty water bottle, fill it once you get through security. So I was like, hey, I'm gonna do the same thing in Japan. But they actually stopped me with my empty plastic water bottle and made me do my screening all over again, and took my glasses and my camera and all sorts of very personal, semi-expensive items out of my bag, and it was just like not a great situation. And when I went to complain about someone about what happened and about those instructions being unclear, they didn't speak English, and I was talking to them through Google Translate. So it was things like that. It was very frustrating. But that's what I mean, is that it's not nearly as futuristic as I expected it to be, because I've seen other places in the world where security is so tight, or even places like Australia, New Zealand, they're implementing like tap to touch with your credit card to pay. We don't have that in the States here most places yet. Just, yeah, like, yes, it's clean, the vending machines are cool, everything's cool, but it's just not the year 2030 like I expected it. So yeah, guys, those are my 8 things that I wish that I knew, that I hope you now know before you go to Japan. If you like this video, like I said, be sure to give it a like, subscribe for more videos like this, and go read all my Japan posts if you haven't read them on my blog, and more importantly, go check out go check out the Japan vlogs if you haven't watched them already. And I'll see you guys next time. Bye.